So, what time did you get home yesterday?
I think we landed at 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that.
What was your travel schedule? I feel like you were out there, you left there, you got back there. Like it was like you were all over the place.
Dude, so I left Saturday morning, got there because I wanted to get Caitlin situated for the amateur Olympia, right? So I wanted like 2 days beforehand, just so she washed off all that stress and everything. So had to leave there at Monday at 11:30 p.m. to go to a meeting in Atlanta. So I landed in Atlanta. Yes, 11:30 p.m. Vegas time. Landed in Atlanta at 6:15 a.m.
Okay, time difference.
Went to a meeting all the way until 8:30 p.m. that night. Okay, didn't get to sleep till like 10:30. So that would be like what, 1 o'clock, 1:30 Vegas time. Woke up, had a meeting at 6:30 that morning, went through the whole meeting that day until 1 o'clock, went back to the airport, flew back to Vegas, then
Bro,
met
what the
Marine.
fuck?
Yes, then met Marine and Ben at the gym because Ben wanted me obviously to work out with him. So met him right at the gym at like once I landed at 5, 6 o'clock, and then didn't get to sleep that night until like 11 o'clock. So I was like almost up for like 36 straight hours.
Bro, that's fucking
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. The
What
only
up,
thing that was worth it
Drew?
is that Caitlin got her pro
What's up,
card, right?
guys?
I was running on
Yeah.
that drug.
Wait,
Yep.
she got her fucking pro card.
Yeah, dude, she crushed her class. Like it was crazy. And then she went to the overall. They put her right in the middle and just left her there with the Australian girl. So it was like they moved everyone around them two, and it was game over. And I do have to say, dude, I'm very thankful for Mike from Unchained Physiques because, dude, he went there at 5 in the morning to the show, helped her get ready and everything, and was in the crowd yelling at her because Ben couldn't be there to coach her. So Mike was
Uh,
basically giving her all the cues and everything in the crowd. And he didn't have to do that, man. He basically asked us, like, hey, what can I do for you guys? And he showed up just for her to do all that. So
that's
big
that.
shout out to him for doing that, especially whenever he had all those Olympians competing there too. So
Good point. Good
yeah.
point. What up, Drew?
What's up, guys?
How's it feel, bro? Being home?
Feels good being home. This weekend was kind of like a whirlwind of emotions. A
Mm.
lot of different things that just I don't know, man. Like it was a good experience. It always is. It's the Olympia, right? But definitely felt the pressure on this one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely felt the pressure. More so on myself. It's easy to have no expectations. And for me, it's just moving up from the previous year. And I'm letting the placements dictate how good I am. And as you guys know, I'm always center a third call out, or at least it seems like third call out, and I'm always in that mix right there from anywhere from what is it, the 17th, the 20 spot.
Mm.
And this year was the same. So, you had more guys, and then you had you know, guys that moved up, I guess guys that moved back as well, but I'm always in the same spot no matter what. So to me, it's always like I don't know if it's a coincidence or because you improve so much, and I improved a lot, like night and day, and to still be in that same exact call out and spot. For me, it's not a validating feeling. So after I got off stage, it was more so like I felt like I failed myself. And I know it's weird because people will tell me, oh, no, you shouldn't feel that way. You're still, top 20 of the best in the world. You're this, you're that. And in that moment, there's nothing anybody could really say. You got to go through it.
Mm.
And I allow myself to feel it. Um, and, Maria had all the things to say. She's been a part of this for the last 3 years, all the Olympias. And, my emotions for this one just, and it was different, man. Like I was 16 pounds or 16 pounds over the weight cap Wednesday night. I flew in, I was behind on meals. I went to torture gym. I'm talking to everybody. And when
Yeah.
you're talking to people at the Olympia, time flies by. And then I'm missing meals, I'm missing water. So I have to cram water in, or he'll only give me 4 meals that day. I was at 2 by the time 5 p.m. came around. Mind you, you know, we're Vegas was 3 hours behind what I'm used to.
Mhm.
So a lot of it threw me off. And this was the longest flight I've ever took in my life. It was about 6 hours. And getting there Wednesday wasn't the most ideal thing that I could have done. I always kind of wait till last second, but I got there, you know, where most people don't get there at Wednesday before the show on Saturday, and check-ins was Friday. So, I'm cramming this water and all these meals I got on the scale. I'm like 218.2. I'm like, holy shit. And my cortisol is
What's your weight cut
shooting through the
again?
ceiling.
What's your weight cut?
202. I'm 5'10.
Oh,
And
shit.
I usually, I'm going to sleep at like anywhere from 215, 216 every night. And I didn't get below 204 that entire prep fasted. I added a lot of tissue and my sleep was just really off. My digestion was off leading up into the show the last 3 weeks. I don't know why that is. I think just
I
my
think the
food was
pressure.
all time low. Yeah, my food was an all time low and my cardio was an all time high. And I would wake up in the morning drier and tighter, and the weight would be up and it would mess with my head, being like, oh, I'm not as ready because my weight isn't where it would normally be at even last year's Olympia, right? But obviously, I gained a lot of tissue, and I'm thinking maybe it's digestion, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Try to relax as much as I could, and then the weight wasn't even going anywhere. So I just kind of was like, it is what it is. If I got to drop, I got to drop it. So that night, I went over to an EOS with one of my friends that was visiting from Utah. He came with me and did the whole sauna with me after I did an hour of cardio. I did 75 minutes broken up, and then I would get
Oh,
out every
wow.
20, 25 minutes, wipe my body off, um, get back in there, just kept going through towels. I got towels. It's 24/7 gym. I just kept going. The thing is, the sauna closed at 11, and I got all the way down to 207.8.
Mhm.
So I went back, no food, no water, no meals, and went to sleep for about 4 or 5 hours because that's all I was sleeping that entire weekend. And I woke up and I was like 204.8, and I had nothing else to lose. So I got up at 5 a.m. because I got to make this weight. I got to make this weight. And, I did an hour and 5 minutes of cardio downstairs, didn't even break a sweat, came upstairs, 203.9 or 203.8. I'm like, I'm a pound away. So then I'm sitting there and then I start peeing a little bit more. I'm trying to relax, putting my feet up. Check-ins was at 9. Mind you, this was at like 6 or 7. So I still had time and I knew I would probably lose that. So by the time I was walking down to the venue, I got to 201.8 before I left. So I'm like, I made it. I always want to be under it. I'm not going to risk it, man. I'm a professional. I'm an athlete. If there's a weight cap with height, and then I noticed a lot of classic guys when we're there are missing their weight or cap or whatever it may be. So I start tweaking. I'm like, all right, I'm at this 202 now. I did it. I nearly killed myself. What if they measure me in under 5'10"? I could be 5'9" and 3/4. Then I got to make a 194. I'm fucked.
Mhm.
So I start laying on the floor and stretching out, going against like the wall and just kind of opening up my back and, pushing down on my hips, putting my feet up just for the last hour because they were still finishing up on classic guys. They kept coming back to get rehydrated or whatnot. And when I'm heighted, I get 5'10 1/4.
So
So I
so
could
you
have
got
been,
over.
yeah, so I could have been 209.
Yeah.
But all these other shows that I've done, I've never been that. So going forward, do I take the risk or do I stay where I'm at? No, I'm going to stay where I'm
Yeah.
at because maybe the stretching helped. Everybody height's different. Maybe I was standing up straight. I don't know what it may be, but I've always been consistently at 5'10",
Yeah.
and my cap's 202. So, after the Olympia, like today, I woke up fast at 201.8.
Wow.
I think a lot of it was stress digestion. I was able to go to the bathroom. I was able to get 9 hours of sleep for the first time in probably a month.
That's
Woke
the
up.
reason right there. The sleep is so key, man. So key.
Yeah. Yeah. So game changer, man. I'm haven't been off diet. We went to sushi after the O. I rented the finals to just watch Nick Walker. He's been helping me a lot through this prep and just seeing him at the gym and talking and just kind of breaking things down. He's pushed me a lot, and hopefully I've done the same for him. But I wanted to watch him, and we're just sitting there, and I was like, in reality for once, satisfied from a meal. I'm able to watch, I'm still a fan, bro. I was able to watch Dino take over the classic division. I was able to watch, Derek do what he does and bring that look. And I'm just kind of living through these guys like Ryan Terry. And I was so happy for them. Maria yelled in the restaurant, like was clapping and everything. And I'm like, damn, like I was just so excited because not only are they competitors, but they're people that, are paving the way for guys like us, and I always visualize myself getting to that level. So it took that feeling off of me a little bit of, what, I'm done. I did what I did at this show. There's nothing I can control. People are going to say whatever, but my back did come up. Everything came improved, and I was able to get a comparison next to a top guy. And I don't know if you
I was
guys know
about to,
this.
I was about to
I
say
don't know
that.
if you guys know this, but in about 2 years, I've never been compared to any top guys
Yeah.
since Daniel Ammons or Charjo or, like 2023 Nick Coey. Like, I've never been in a call out, like, especially with like, the last name when he first come out. I was next to Andre Dieu, who is, as you guys know, now seventh in the world. And being able to really see how I look next to him, what I can improve on, and seeing it for yourself, it's like, I'm not far off, but it's very, very subtle, but you could see differences.
Drew,
And
I literally saw that picture and I was with Ben at that time and I showed him, I go, dude, I go, they match up very, very well. I was like, this is very impressive on Drew's part. I was like, I was very blown away.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm also a guy, I don't know what his weight cap is, but as you guys know, I'm maxed out on stage. I was about 211.5. Um, Stage lighting wasn't necessarily the best, but I was peeled and my peak wasn't 100% perfect, but you could tell that I added density.
What
My
do you
front
think you
shot
could have
was
done
in,
better for the peak?
keep stress low. And it was something that I couldn't manage at that time because it was already done with. Like, the lack of sleep, the build up, the travel, pushing meals, water and all of that, the stress of going to the sauna. Like, it was already something that I had to do, and I did, and I dealt with what I could, and I still look this way.
Yeah.
So I imagine, how would I look without that? And there's always that what if, but that's why we're all bodybuilders and competitors and professionals, because it's trying to find that there's always a peak that you just nail, bro. And you might not even know why. I could do the same thing that I've done for
100%.
this show at another show and maybe look twice as good from small things, small adjustments.
Yeah, bro.
So there's a lot that I learned from this show.
I know you guys giggle when I say fucking the importance of controlling your variables, right? Because there's so much in bodybuilding that you can't control. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know there was people, complaining about, certain aspects of it, but a lot of that is out of your control when it comes to, stress, cortisol, conditioning to a degree, so on and so forth. There's certain things you can't control. And I think you did a pretty damn good job under the circumstances.
You look great, man.
I was gonna say,
Thank
like,
you.
I think you found your
Thank
new
you.
color in board shorts too. The blue ones really made you pop.
Yeah.
I thought your back was improved, like your lower back started to really come in, right? And overall, I think your front shot, I already said it. I think it's top 10, top 15 in the world. So,
Easy.
like,
Easy.
bro, you
Yeah,
nailed
and having that comparison with DU definitely showed me, like, my front shot is my strong point. And
it.
seeing his physique, it's like very dominant in the chest. He has a really good chest. It's just, when I see that, I see things in my front shot that I'd never seen before. And
Yeah.
that's what allows me to even take the strength to a stronger degree as improving the back, because I am making these strides. You go off of these placements, it's like the same place every year. He's not changing, but I am. As I'm improving, a lot of other guys are improving as well. So it's like kind of like a ladder that moves up slowly. That's why the sport evolves the way that it does. And at this Olympia, I didn't see anybody. You correct me if I'm wrong, but being backstage, like, everybody was on.
Yes. Everyone was pretty much on. There was a couple people that were holding a little bit of water. They were a little bit flatter on the flatter side, but that can also be attributed. The lights were very, very bright too. So whenever you have that type of lighting, sometimes it makes you look a little washed up, but you aren't. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see them in like backstage or on the side or something, and you'll be like, wow, they're actually on. Like, it's not what I'm actually seeing. But Drew,
Yep.
did you take any time afterwards? So this was the first time I've actually done this after Olympian. I went back to the hotel and I watched all of pre-judging again just to study the guys, study what kind of call out Steve did, what he did. Was there anything that you did after the show to kind of look over your physique and say, hey, like, maybe I could have done this better, or I want to improve on this area? Did you do anything like that?
So I did later in the day, because as time goes by, you get more footage. Some things are, bad quality, and then it'll dictate how you feel in that moment. And I always kind of went back to pictures because that's ultimately what it was. I always told you guys, I rather lose a show looking my absolute best than win a show looking off. And that's just me. That's just how I feel. I need to feel that validation. That's why I started bodybuilding, man. Like, it was to feel the self-confidence that I always lacked. And I would get that validation from going on stage and showing a look, even if I didn't win. We all want to win, but we can't control that we do. And it's very cliche to say that, like, give it your best shot. Like, I got a participation Olympia thing and I'm in a top 20 and I'm complaining about that. And, other people are just grateful to be there, let alone, wanting to get where I'm at, but we always want improvement. Just like Ryan Terry being the champ, he's already talking, I will be here next year. Like, he hasn't even enjoyed the win to already know that he's going to be here next year, because no matter what level you get to, whether you're top 10, the goalpost moves to top 5, and then it'll go to maybe potentially winning. And then once you do, it's like you win, people will tell you, oh yeah, you just won once, he's a one-hit wonder. Then you're in the conversation of the greatest of all time. It's like there's never a satisfying feeling, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So I apply that to me. So no matter what level or placing you're at, as long as the physique is improving and you're looking at the photos and studying them, and then also the competition, you know, that's what I did later on. But the first thing that I did was spend time with my mom and dad. They came out. We got like an early dinner. Um, and I was just able to enjoy that and kind of fall back on the things that got me to this point. Um, the people that matter, they went through this prep with me, and I'm a very misunderstood, interesting, uh, confusing person. I'm hard to figure out. Sometimes I don't even have myself figured out. And, you know, these people in my life that matter, they're with me all along. And I know how difficult I am. Maybe they think I'm even more difficult, but they're there to support me. So once I was off stage, the relief, it just got off me like 1,000 pounds, cinder blocks off my feet, took them off. I was able to relax with the people that, came to support me. And that's all that mattered in that moment. I didn't care about the show. I didn't care about um, looking at photos or of myself. I actually went back to the Physique booth and was talking to, just the people that wanted to meet me. And, there was actually a line, and it's cool. I've been doing
So,
NPR for about, a year and a half, and I'm getting more recognition as we all are. And people coming up to me and asking for advice on the spot and wanting pictures. And me being able to critique a young 16-year-old was like one of the highlights, because I saw a lot of my younger self in him. And it was just the way that he was talking. It's not about talking as if you think you're trying to convince yourself. They're talking because they actually believe in themselves through maybe something that I said. And I relate. I try to always find something that I can relate to with somebody else, whether it was they're super skinny, they don't believe that they have the genetics, whatever it may be, it goes a long way. And people don't understand. I struggle with this my whole life. I was made fun of, and I've talked about this before. And the reason I talk about it is because I realize it benefits other people that are listening. I never talked about it because I didn't even think it mattered. Like, I was a voice nobody would listen to when I was nothing. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to bitch and complain. Like, no, I never like talking about myself. I don't talk about my resume or what I do or what I have. And, I like being able to talk about things that people could take away from. And yeah, I love doing that. So that's where I spent my time after getting off the stage.
well, I can make you feel a little bit better. So I know Alex, you were in the crowd, probably in about the middle. I don't know if this happened to you as it happened to me, but I was behind everybody. So I'm like where the nosebleeds, you would say, of fans. So I'm standing in the back by the Raw booth. And whenever you came on stage, I just want to let you know that there was about, I would say, 10 to 12 people around me that the second you came on, they were like, oh, Drew's on. And they were like,
Yeah.
oh, damn, he looks crazy. He looks good. And these are random people that I have never seen in my life. And it's so freaking cool to be able to be back there and hear these people talk about you like that, where they're big fans of you, man. And yeah, you may have gotten 20th place, whatever the hell it may be, but there's people out there that see your physique and they want to look exactly like you. They want to be in your spot. And that was the coolest thing for me, is like, hey, I know that guy too. Like, that's my boy right there. So it was a really proud moment for me. So that was really freaking cool to hear that around me.
yeah, man, it's
Getting emotional. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. That's what this is all about, man. These people, they love you, man. And like, it was really cool to hear.
yeah. I mean, not being on stage, I got a different perspective this time around, and I realize it's like sometimes just getting on here and talking can create an impact to a point where people want to come up to you, meet you, and thank them for having some investment into you know their journey, I guess you could say. But
Yeah, I never viewed myself as anything. That's why I feel the way that I do right now. Like, um, just making an impact, man, means a lot to me.
oh yeah,
You do, man. You do, for sure.
Yeah.
let's dive into the Olympia a little bit more. I mean, we had a lot. leading into the Olympia before we even got on stage that created a lot of conversation, made the actual battle significantly more and people invested in it. You know what I mean? They wanted to
Yeah.
know there was many inner battles in the bigger battle. Did you guys get a chance to watch the press conference at all? Or
I stayed, I already had enough going on with cutting weight
yeah,
that it
that's a good
wasn't
point.
really even something that I was just focused on getting off my feet and whatnot and trying to just manage what I could. I know I saw bits and pieces of it with Ali and Brandon and all of that. And, it's, I think for the sport, some things are entertaining and cool for the fans, right? Because a lot of these fans may not even compete. They just want to see that side of these guys because this is just a visual sport. But when you really dive into the personalities or the countries, everybody has supporters from where they're at. Um, and just seeing it get that heated for me, I don't like confrontation like that. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong for it, but I've had a lot of things in my life of confrontations and whatnot that I don't like being around it or involved, but kind of seeing it, it's just I don't know, like it's very subjective when it comes down to what people want to see and what they don't. But for me, it's just
Well,
I don't know, man.
when I simplify it to a sport, I don't necessarily think Ali Bilal did anything wrong with being confident. Like again, he's been unapologetically himself from the start to now, and he's carried that same energy, from, the beginning of this prep to then on that press conference. So it wasn't like he was trying to be somebody he's not. I think he was just, again, speaking his truth from his perspective with a little bit more of a tone behind it. I think the reason why it got heated was because they actually don't like each other. Like
Yes.
there's battles here and there, but like at the end of the day, you don't really give a fuck about them and they don't really give a shit about you. But I don't think they actually like each other. Like there's some kind of animosity between each other. So as
There's
soon
more
as I saw
to it.
them, yeah, as
There's
soon
more
as I saw
to it, and they
them,
posted stories after about it, and they deleted it. So that's all it is.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like it looks like personal became professional.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
There's things that I talked to Brandon about, and I don't like having an opinion because I'm cool with all these guys. I talked to Ali backstage, I talked to Brandon, I talked to all these guys. Me and Brandon go way back, and I don't try to base somebody off of what they got going on with somebody else. I'm more of a face value person. Brandon talked to me, and I'm all ears, bro. It's a respect thing. I know Brandon for the person he is, not champion or competitor. And kind of tapping in with him and seeing the mindset and just the fire burning in his eyes and just talking about kind of what happened earlier in the day. There's definitely a few things that are between them that he brought up, and this is deeper than just bodybuilding and you know roughing up the crowd and whatnot. Like there are things, and that's between them. Like I said, I don't have personal beef with any of those guys. They have it between themselves. And when I see this stuff online, people that choose sides over situations they don't know the full story of, and then they paint the narrative.
It's
That's
like
that's
any
the
other sport,
difference.
though. It's like any
Yeah,
other sport, though. It's like let's just say you're an NFL player in the middle of a game, right? Sometimes it gets heated. Like you said, you're stressed out before the show. Emotions are very, very high. And sometimes you do things that you wouldn't normally do on a daily basis, right? So
yeah.
you're next to your opponent, literally not even a foot from them. And if you have some animosity there and they start pissing you off in the moment, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're pissed, you might say some stuff. So you know what? In the moment, shit happens, man.
Yeah, and Brandon's not one that ever throughout his career he's had a lot of people call him out, and this is the first year that I ever saw him go on his story and actually talk about,
yeah.
this is my resume, this is what it is, and he's not somebody that even ever has to do that, man. But there were things that we're getting to him, and there's things that get to all of us, bro. I've done it before when George Brown called me out at Toronto and all that stuff. It does get to you. People say they don't give a fuck, but they do.
I,
But I allow it to fuel me, as Brandon allows it to fuel him, as Ali allows it to fuel him. We all do it in different ways, but we're all competitors at the end of the day. We all have it in us. It's just how we manage it.
Yeah, and how we can control the emotions of it, because I think throughout this season you saw each person can control their emotions much differently, and some
Mm-hmm.
more than others. And I think a lot of that, animosity was slowly compiling until they got literally next to each other. And that's not just, Ali and Brandon, that's
Mm-hmm.
all those guys. Like they all remember what they said to each other. You know what I mean? Like
It's like
they,
a TV show, bro. There's different storylines. It's
yeah,
like one of those shows that you watch, and it's like this couple or these people, and you're watching, it's like, okay, then it shifts to this one again, and it goes back to the other one. There's always something new. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's more of the personal aspect that gets to it. And I always find it silly when people argue over who's going to win a show and who doesn't. It's like, yeah, pull up to this show and we're going to battle in our board shorts, tanned half naked. And it's just like, once the winner comes out, it's like, nobody says anything. It might stir up the pot a little bit and then it dies off because there's a show next week. You know what I mean? Like, nobody really thinks about it or cares. Now they're focused on Olympia. Now the Olympia is over. That's it. Now it's other shows. A lot of people are getting ready for 2026 before 2025 was over. I don't make that decision until 2025 is over because Olympia dictates what I'm going to do next. And that's kind of how it's always been, because I'm a one-time guy. Like, if my mind is set on one goal, I can only be 100% for that goal. And then once that is either fulfilled to its maximum capacity, then I go to the next thing. Like, what's next? Because I'm a competitor, man. I need structure in my life. And this is the most important thing to me for myself personally, that I need in my life to be sane.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's quickly break down the top 15. All right, and then I'm going to switch over once we get around to that sixth place spot to where we can see both front and back. But I wanted to get your guys' opinion. Carlos Ocran falling from 8th place now to 15th place. I thought he brought a pretty solid package. I don't think he was dramatically off by any means. I don't know if this is something where, hey, maybe going in a different direction. But Chris, what'd you see?
Hey, honestly, Carlos has a amazing physique. It's just there's a little bit of gaps in his physique. So compared to the guys that are in the top 15, he's one of the smaller types of physiques. Yeah, he has crazy proportions. He has crazy chest, crazy back.
Smaller? You said smaller?
I think he's definitely smaller than these guys. You line him up against any of these guys. I mean, he's a smaller type of guy. He's got very long arms too.
Yeah, he does have long ass arms.
So I think that kind of
he's tall, so it makes it look like he has those gaps.
Yeah.
He's not small, but when he's in comparison to other people, it's more so the illusion of gaps.
Smaller. Yeah, he's smaller compared to these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like you said, I think his limbs are long and there not a lot of meat on the limbs, but I think his chest is full as house. I think his conditioning's on point. I think he has a more dense back than almost anybody on the stage. I just think it's such a unique look that sometimes I don't know how else to put this. I just think it's I don't want to say judge dependent, but like I feel like it's time dependent. Like I don't like this look. What's up?
You're asking me to pick apart the top 15 physiques in the world. I have to do something little. There's very little to pick apart these guys, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick them apart, but don't pick them apart incorrectly. Nigga, he ain't small. Like,
crazy,
dude.
Hey, bring this list back up. How many guys figure that's smaller than him?
You're the guy who's just in front of him. But again, he looks really good. I think again, he's a guy who's extremely balanced. I don't know what it is. And he has a very unique look. And
he looks great. He looks great.
Yeah, it's just unique. All right, let me pull up the rest. All right, we got Isaiah Kessick. I think that's his name.
Actually, you're right. You're right. This guy is smaller than
he's much smaller. But I'm telling you right now, conditioning reigns supreme at the show. Like you could clearly see the difference between people who got awarded with conditioning versus who didn't. And he was a prime example of that. He is not the biggest guy at all, not only in stature, but in muscle density. But what he did have, balance from front to back, and he was fucking peeled, dude. Peeled. Serratus was ripping. Again,
razor sharp.
A guy who been in the Olympia maybe twice now from Indonesia and was always in that 16th place spot, finally broke into being ranked. That speaks.
This guy next to him was the most peeled guy in the show.
100%, bro.
It was unreal.
Unreal. I don't remember last time, bro. I've never been impressed with his physique, and that's not me trying to speak slight. It blended in with a lot of the other people in the division, but the amount of size that he put on and how he nailed, he might have been the best.
It's not size, Alex. He nailed his peak. It's not size. It's not his peak was so maxed out because if you look at other shows, there have been shows to where he's nailed this look, and there's been shows that he didn't nail the look. And he's that guy that, you always use this as if he's off, he moves back a lot. There's a big margin of gaps for him if he's off. But if he's on, look at the guys that he could surpass. I'm the same exact way. If I'm off, I'm not always off, but if I'm off 5% or something like that, you know,
He's also
I'm
he's
gonna
also
move
very
back.
balanced. Look at his
Yes.
legs too. His legs are very balanced to his upper body. I
Fucking
think that's a big
calves.
component of this.
Look at his calves.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
His calves are like
crazy.
nearly bigger than his quads, bro.
Yeah, like you're
You
right.
know it's interesting. Him and he has the same coach as Josema.
Oh, really?
And it kind of makes sense, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I actually thought he posted a video on his profile a couple weeks ago, and he was more peeled than Josema. Next to him, they were flexing their abs in the mirror.
It was very impressive. He came out. I was like, that's easily top 15 right there.
Yeah, no, he looked really dope, and I always was a fan of his physique. I've always told him backstage. I've always really liked his look, and I'll tell you guys this: like my photographer Kevin, we always go to his profile to get ideas of what shots to take of me at the gym, like off the mirror and stuff, because he takes really dope photos, and we always get our ideas from him.
Bro,
Yeah.
he's a person who uses his social media influence as well as the success he has on stage
Mhm.
to grow everything. Because I know he has the board short company as well.
Yep.
Dude's absolutely killing it. All right, and then we have Ben falling from ninth to 11th. Would you see in Ben's physique, Drew specifically? I don't know if you had actually had a chance to actually digest everything. If
Yeah.
not, Chris, I know you did. You were up close and personal.
Yeah. No, you go ahead,
Uh,
Drew. You tell me, and I'll say.
Ben's always been super impressive to me. I think the biggest thing is there was such high anticipation of placing this year. From Instagram posts, he was ready early. Was arguably the most peeled that I've ever seen him from his updates and things like that. And going into Sasquatch and coming up short to Jeremy, and I know it's arguable because a lot of people say coulda, woulda, shoulda, but you know I don't know if that just influenced how people, thought he would do or thought he would place. I still thought he looked great. The only thing with his physique to me is when he's next to other guys, you could kind of see gaps in his physique. He's very complete front to back on his own, but when he's next to other guys, because longer torso, longer arms, you know, he's tight in certain areas, and it almost seems like other areas he's very well put together with his muscle bellies, but not as tight, right? I don't know if it's thick skin or what, but he's not as tight as the other guys in the top 15 or above him, at least. But his shape, his structure, and his fullness, I think he takes up a lot of stage mass on stage. It's just the flow of it when he's next to other guys. And that's why I think Jeremy beat him at Sasquatch as well. It's not just about a back anymore. It's about when you look at the silhouette and the balance, right? He's definitely improved. And honestly, based off this live stream, I cannot say with confidence it was his best. I truly don't know, because this lighting made everybody look off. So anybody on the stream that's like, oh yeah, they weren't peeled, like everybody was peeled at the show. It's just a matter of who you were next to that just had a little bit better of a peak. And I think the top 10 is literally a toss up in any division, because even with the open, it's so interchangeable and it comes down to peak.
Yeah. Chris, what would you see having the sideline view?
Oh no, I actually, whenever he came out for his first routine, I had to text him backstage. I'm like, bro, smile. You aren't smiling. Like, he was very, very serious. And
He
I
was
said
very serious this whole weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I said it to him 3 times. I'm like, dude, you need to smile. Like, that's what makes you. You have a great smile, man. But then he fixed it going into these comparisons. I think that he was on. I mean, whenever I saw him off stage to the side, he was peaked really, really good. I just think that exactly what Drew said. I think that these guys that were in the top 10, and you got to also remember, there's 3 guys in that top 10 that didn't compete last year. So he technically, if you really think about it, he didn't move down spaces. They just interjected them in front. You had Corey, Jeremy, and Andre in there. So I think that he was very, very good. This lighting definitely does not do him justice in this video here. I will say that Jeremy peaked very, very well for this show and was very improved. So I was very impressed with that. But no, I mean, I agree exactly what Drew said.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this lineup, I would say the only person excluded would be Morrow, but the rest of the guys, very full chest, very similar. They're all posing nearly on the same side. Yep. Ben's comparable to Carlos, but Ben is more full than Carlos. And what Chris was saying earlier, with this lineup being short, more stockier guys filled out in areas, it does make the guys like Carlos and Ben look like the apples among oranges.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Ben has just more of a men's physique look in terms of structure.
But what's a men's physique look? Because it seems like there's not really a look anymore in any division. Like, it's very subjective. Like, a classic look It's
Yeah,
like,
that, that,
you
that,
know,
that- that's a good point.
it's,
I think he
it's
has the
more the
best.
subjectivity of it.
I think he has the best shoulder to waist ratio, we'll put it that way. And I think his back is amongst the top in this call out. I think maybe the guy who ended up placing sixth and Carlos Ocran, can give him a run for his money. But, I think Ben's density is, generally one of the better backs on stage. Needs to continue to add density across the board. But I don't know. I
I
just think
think he needs to just put a little bit more mass on his legs to be even with the upper body. And I think it'll be very impressive after that because I think a lot of his gaps are coming from having a little bit downsized legs compared to the guys he's next to. The guys he's next to is Jeremy Buendia, who arguably has classic legs, man. I
not
mean,
arguably he does,
yeah,
but
I
he's
mean, it
big.
is what it is. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, Drew, you're right with the whole Morrow situation. I think he was just perfectly peaked. I think if what Ben has right now is enough. I think if he peaks it like the
Yes.
way Morrow does, it will be a completely different conversation. 100%.
I don't think anybody's going to peak like Morrow, though. That's the difference.
I mean, that can be like a once in a lifetime kind of peak.
Can
Like,
I
Yeah.
talk about
It's
one
like
thing
Corey
though?
Morris in Texas or McSpadden in the one show that I think it was Texas.
yeah,
You just have that look and you don't even know why. It's just maybe just excitement. It could be anything, man. But
Hey,
that
right
there's a one
here.
in a lifetime peak. Yeah.
I want to talk about something. Okay. They brought the second call out in, and the guy from China right here. This guy was put in the center, and this is the exact reason of why these call outs freaking matter because this guy right here moved from 11th place all the way down to the sixth place spot, and he kept getting better and better as he was posing. So, for anyone that ever gets to this place in the Olympia and you think you're in second call outs and you're down and out, dude, this guy showed you that you can work your way all the way down in these call outs to be in that top six conversation.
yeah,
Yep.
100%. I mean, I think he was the freak of the
Don't
show.
let it defeat you because your
No.
body's, you stop pumping up and all that. And I got to that point, I'll be honest. And for me, after the fact, I always got to give myself time to digest it. And I know Alex has felt that before. And the standard's always a little bit higher when you have more pressure and you feel like you just have more to prove every single show that you do. It's like the Olympia, you got to be realistic. Are you going to win if you're not in that top five? Like, no, you're not. Is it impossible? No. But unless you're just coming in and you just have everything that these other guys do, but more of it, then yeah, realistic. But I've always been realistic with moving up. And I truly thought that my physique was up there with some of these guys as well. But I also use this as a learning lesson to see what more I could have done to be better. And it is a peak thing, man. I talked to Ariel earlier and he says stress just ruins peaks.
Yes.
100%. You can't beat cortisol, man. I would tell my clients this all the time. Like, it's common to be nervous, on the edge, excited, but if it gets to a point where it's debilitating, you're going to do yourself more than anything else.
Yeah.
Now, we got Emmanuel Hunter falling back from fourth place to, is it
It
10?
was a fading issue with him. He came out, looked very good for a couple minutes, and then as the posing went on, it's almost like his body was just fading slowly.
Too pumped up. They literally lined us up like an hour early just to put us in a place. And we just were like, 5 minutes, you'll be on here, you'll be on here. Classic went on longer. And then they took like a break. And
Oh,
then,
no.
dude, it was so long. It felt like I saw Jeremy and Ali pumping up for literally 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then there was like no maintenance. So by the time you get on stage, I know Andre has talked about this. Like nobody's keeping a pump that long, man. We're already depleted with limited water, and you need water to fill out that muscle. You only have so much food with you backstage. They're not letting you leave and go anywhere because the expediters are just rushed around because there's so many guys. Like, and each guy is focused on themselves and their look, and everybody backstage thinks that they're going to miss their look, but there's no time. Nobody knows what time you're going to go on, even the expediters.
Yeah.
So I think
So,
that was the issue with him. Truly, that's what I thought the issue
you
was.
think you might have pumped, excuse me, you think you might have pumped up a little too early and that
Yeah.
caused him to fade? Because on stage
Mhm.
in the crowd, what I saw was just, I don't know if it was a peak thing of the water or something, because he was sweating his ass off. And
Yeah,
I,
it was cold in there too. So even like whenever you're waiting for the next call to come out, these guys were getting pumped. They were going backstage and it was cold. Like they were getting cold. And then to get
Mhm.
your pump back after what Drew just said, you're having no food and no water. It's very hard to get that look again, after you do it the first time. So there's definitely a strategy to it. Like whenever you're coming out for that first posing routine or those first whatever you call them lineups, you technically shouldn't pump up too hard in that lineup, because the ones that are counting are later on whenever you're starting to get compared or do your individual routine. So I think a lot of people pump up too hard at the very beginning. They
Yeah.
come out of the secondary lineups and then they fade away. And I think that could have maybe been a problem for him there.
Yeah.
It was a problem for a lot of guys, I feel like, but there was certain guys like number 6. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he was a guy that was
Got better.
not in the first call out and moved into it. So he got better with time. It was the same thing with, I always use myself for a lot of examples because it's what I know. Chicago Pro, you know, I worked my way up from like the outside of a first call into the middle because I got harder and I didn't pump up much at that show. Like Ariel's like, save your pump. So there is something to it. And for the people watching that don't compete, you know, when you go to the gym and you just get sidetracked, your mind isn't into it. You got your mom or your girlfriend calling you or something, you answer it for 5 minutes and then you're just like, I don't even feel this anymore. Last said I did, like my pump's gone, whatever. Like imagine being at the Olympia and having that, and then you get nervous because you're like, well, now I'm not going to have the look, and then you over pump. You're just burning off all that glycogen that you just literally spent days loading to show on stage, and you're not showing it at the right time. That's why a lot of guys wake up looking better the next day after eating bullshit.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. We got Vitor Chavez falling to, what was it, ninth place?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think anything was wrong
10.
with his look. I thought he looked amazing.
No.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you this much. I was surprised, bro. I thought he looked pretty good when he walked out. He was one of those guys who really impressed me. I think his shoulder to waist ratio was the best I've ever seen. Like his waistline was tight as shit.
Very tight.
And he manipulated his posing really well. I was a little surprised about that, but I do think he looked really good and showed improvements in the back as well. Again, it's just one of those lineups, man. It's hard. You know what I mean?
Could put any of these guys ahead of each other, and you probably wouldn't complain.
Yeah, exactly. And the one person who I said, "Oh,
Maxed out.
bro, max out."
Maxed out.
Oh my God, bro,
That's something I've ever seen on stage.
when I saw Corey Morris walked out, I was like, "What the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is that?"
There's one thing with Corey Morris, and for the people that don't know, he's always going to be impressive to people no matter what. But when you look over the years, it's always consistent. You know, he has that type of physique that he can't get any fuller. And if he adds any more size, I think it's going to throw off his small waist. And I've always said that if his waist was a little bit bigger, he would win Olympia. It's a balance thing. He has a very freaky look, and it's freaky to the point to where it's not traditional. Because when you look at Ryan Terry, and we'll get to him in a second, he has a very traditional look. Corey Morris has always looked this way, maybe 1% to 2% better each year, but he's always consistently in that position because there's just certain guys genetically that may have that flow for the men's physique look that Alex was saying, right? And we see that year after year. We just got to look at the results. It's, you know, it's very, very, it's in common with everything else that we've seen throughout the years and years and years of watching Corey Morris compete.
He's the perfect guy or example of you see that guy on the beach and you're like, I want to look like that. Because I just want to walk around in the
and you can't
looking like that.
On his flat days, he's full.
This look was different though. He was 9 pounds up from the last time he stepped on stage, and he looked 9 pounds up. I've never seen him look this big.
He made everyone look small in that first call out whenever he got out there. I was like, what is going on?
It was insane. And now, like I said, we talked about men's physique look. I don't know if they had him fall because he was too big, but there was no doubt in my mind that this guy was the biggest motherfucker on stage. It was wild to see him walk out. I was like, yo, it was nasty. But now moving on to the last ride of Jeremy Buendia falling to, well, no, eighth place.
Eighth place.
I guess staying technically at eighth place. I know he didn't compete in last year, but what'd you think of his physique? You mentioned he peaked pretty well. Do you think this was the best version of Brandon, or better yet, Jeremy we've ever seen?
Best I've seen him in person.
Yeah,
best I've seen him, but I still think he could be better. But yeah, it was impressive though.
You know, I made a video and I was talking about how I think he was just off a little bit, at least compared to Sasquatch. I think he was fuller than Sasquatch for sure. I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think the first thing I saw, but his shoulder, his like taper just wasn't there. It looked a little wider.
I think that he sacrificed more detailed conditioning look for the full look that he had at Sasquatch because his back looked very improved.
Yes,
but like you said, it wasn't the fullness across the chest and the depth of the back wasn't.
Yeah. Like his back was hands down the best it's ever been. Ever.
Yes.
ever been in his entire career. He looked absolutely phenomenal from the back. Um, again, I don't know what it was about the front shot. Again, I think he was going against a lot of people.
I got to disagree, guys. I saw him backstage. Like, he was absolutely on and gutted out. Like, I think under lighting, he just has a different look. Some people just show better
It's
on
a structure.
stage. Some people don't. Like,
Yes.
his abs are in. They're there. It's like a genetic structure,
But
like
they're
Chris
but
said.
it's
Like,
genetically very flat. So like whenever you get on that stage lighting, there's not that pop because there's not a lot of depth in there, but he's shredded and
yeah,
peeled and they're there. But it
Hold on,
just doesn't
yeah.
show in that aspect.
hold on. There's a difference, right? If somebody is, there's a lot of people who look really good when their hands are down to their side or they're even backstage. It's much different when you open up and now you're forcing your body to engage in something that might not necessarily be comfortable. Like I can have my obliques ripping if I do this also, but if I'm in my front shot, it's
Same with the chest. I go like this, but when you're
like
opened up, yeah.
exactly, right? So you have to understand that. And I think Jeremy, though fucking peeled, you can't deny he was fucking conditioned, right? You can't deny that he was poor. So like just that in itself, I just think, like you said, I think genetic limitations take away from that detail aspect in his physique because there was no doubt body fat percentage wise, he was fucking gutted. So again, I think this was a good showing for him overall, right? Like if he is going out, I think this isn't a necessarily bad way to go out in terms of the package that he brought. And this man,
I wouldn't go out with that. I wouldn't go out. I don't think he
I
would
wouldn't either.
should end with the way that he looked. He shows he
really,
still belongs, bro. Yeah, I think he could still improve. This is just much better than when I seen him in 2023 and very accurate. Like his Instagram, that all of it is lighting. He's still better than that in person when you see him. He
yeah.
is. All these guys are for the most part.
Yes.
Do you think you're
Um,
gonna retire?
I don't know, man. I mean, Tom Brady said he did in the first year. He's like, I don't know what else I'm going to do, but he's a guy that he has it. And I think he was grateful to be where he was. And I think it was like that reassurance that he needed. And not saying that he never doubted himself, but the game has changed so much and to still be in that conversation with different eras, he still
You have to
belongs, bro.
remember
This is the most competitive men's physique has ever been. 68 guys, bro. Like he
he's a
beat
competitor
60
too.
guys. He beat 60 guys. And it's not just, I mean, it's not just about a back. You know, I've beaten guys with much better backs than me. You know, why is that? Because I have a really good front and conditioning and structure. Same thing with him when you look at his front pose. There's always going to be something in a physique, especially in these top 15, that you could pick out over one of the other guys. But just because one body part is superior doesn't mean that it beats the overall look.
I don't think his back was, if you're talking about Jeremy, I don't think his back was undersized at all. I mean, I think his back was pretty solid, especially.
But what I'm saying is he doesn't have a back like Banks. He doesn't have a back
Yeah.
like Ryan. He's some people aren't going to get that. So in that top 15, it does come down to where you fall genetically and then by the peak. Because
I think
any of
that's
these
why you
guys
have
that let's say
maybe
if they were off, if any of these guys were off 10% with their peak, they can move back. They can move out of this top 15 easy.
Yeah.
Besides, I would say the top six.
Yeah. You agree. I agree. I couldn't agree more, actually. All right. Now we have Andre Dayu after what, a 2 year hiatus, coming back, placing seventh. This, from my perspective, the most conditioned I've ever seen him. Drew or Chris, one of you guys at the beginning of the pod said that you thought his chest was full. I think that was the only part where I feel like he was lacking was in the chest fullness. And it could just be like you can see it from this photo.
Look at the guys he's next to, bro.
Yeah, no, but I think he's squeezing his chest and it's not making it.
There, but he wasn't doing that on stage. These are
No.
photos that are just kind of taken from. You look at Ryan; he's squeezing his chest together too. Like
I have a
even
better
Banks.
question for you. I have a better question for you. What would it take for Andre to do to move up in this lineup?
Uh,
I have an answer. I just want to see what your guys' are.
honestly, a
Approved delts
fuller chest.
Improved delts.
to match the chest a little bit more.
Oh, Chris, you see something different. What do you
And
say?
I'm nitpicking, bro. I'm absolutely
I
nitpicking.
was going to say that he has very full blown arms. I think if he downsized his biceps and triceps,
Yeah.
his shoulders would match with the chest to make it look a little bit. You know how like Banks has that very full chest, very full shoulders, but doesn't have massive arms.
Yeah.
I think that would really bring in his waist as well. He has a great back, obviously. I think his core is genetically a little bit different than these guys, but it looked very, very good here. His waist was small. I think that if he made that minor tweak, I think he would look very, very good.
But listen, it's not a minor tweak. How many guys at the level that are on PDs
I know,
enhancements
I
can
know, I
downsize
know.
the muscle? But listen to what I said. improve the delts so then you don't got to downsize something else. If you improve the delts, then those arms are going to flow with the chest anyways, and then the look is going to be more complete.
Bro, those delts are big.
They are, but there's certain heads in his posing, if he's straight on, that he can still improve. They're big from the front. He has a very strong interior delt. He needs a little bit more rear delt and side delt to offset that bicep brachialis.
Yeah.
Now, if when he posed here, his back, he's a dense guy, bro. And it's just the balance of everything, right? Like everything is strong, but when you put it all together, there's small things that can improve a little bit to make it more complete. Now, his triceps aren't as dominant as his biceps. Usually triceps are 2/3 of your arm. He's got high triceps like me. The bicep is just so low pitch that when he stands there and hits poses like that, like they do look very dominant.
Yeah.
Bro, he looks incredible, man. This I haven't seen conditioning on him.
Yeah.
It was the most impressive to me at the whole show. Like the person that walked out and I was like, this is improved right here.
From what you're used to seeing, yeah.
Yes.
Again, I think the only thing, this right here, this chest, he can fix this to keep it full like the other chest is. He is, bro, I don't see a reason why this man can't move up. I really don't.
I agree. I had him in my 4th place as my prediction, so yeah. I was proud that he even got in 7th. That was awesome.
Yeah. Another guy that just, because the arms and everything, the legs need to come up to just get that overall balance. Because in this top 10, you have to nitpick, bro. You have to.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I know E-Man, we talked a lot and he's been working on legs. That could also be a factor because if you look at these guys in the top 6, they got very good balance top to bottom. You're seeing these guys with legs. Like Banks is a taller guy and he has really big quads. If you were to measure them, they're probably the biggest on stage. But because of the quads being a little bit more shallow, it could show a little bit of the off balance, right? Because he's another guy that's the tallest guy in the lineup. And he has like limbs. If you see him in person, they're big, but in comparison to like the chest and the shoulders, right? He could fill out certain areas to make it more complete.
Yeah. All right. And then, like we briefly spoke about, the shock of the show, the guy who chose the right parents, the guy who's now officially
AI, I'm going to
rising star. Again,
Mr. AI.
I'm telling you, I agree.
Go to that picture right there. Right. Yeah. Oh, your post. There you go.
I generally agree with almost everything the judges said. I think they nailed this Olympia to a degree. I could see this guy even higher, bro. Like he looks.
I had him higher. Why? Like, what does I'm going to say this, and this is no disrespect to the placing, and this is why we do this podcast, because this is just, I'm
going to say the same thing as you.
Bullshit talking. What puts him with how he looked now? What puts him above Edvin or Banks?
I can go further than that.
If you don't think that I had him above both,
I can go further than that.
All right, let's hear it.
Further than that.
Why can't you put him above Brandon and Ali? Turn him around to the back.
Yeah, his back.
I thought his posing was.
And I'm going to say something that everyone wants to say, but they're not going to say it. If you, in the top 3, you have Brandon and Ali, the IFBB told us that backs do not matter that much.
Shut your mouth. Hold on. Be careful. I don't want to put false information out there. You better.
We didn't see a comparison between those guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't get it.
Let's see.
Tell me if his back isn't better than that.
Next.
You know what?
No, it is. It is. I agree. I don't think it's better than Banks.
I'm just saying things that
overall
are thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm saying that, but I'm saying people are thinking that. I've heard comments say that. So I'm just bringing up the point so we can talk about it, because the comparison, if you look at it, this guy could be in the top 3.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different when and this is the thing, I saw it. I don't have that video here, but I saw it in person. When he was in the first call out, it was crazy. He stood with these guys like you couldn't believe. But at the same time, he didn't stand out as dramatically as he did in the second call out compared to the first. So I will say, when you're compared next to those guys who are bigger, right? Even him just standing next to a Corey Morris, I mean, he beat him, right? But you could definitely see like, oh shit, there's a little bit different of a level to this, right? And I think this guy has everything.
If you're talking about who's bigger, then why does Ali beat Banks? Why does Ali beat Brandon? Keep that same logic. Now, why does Banks and why does Edvin, for that matter, beat him?
Edvin beat this guy?
Yeah, like those two. Why are they above him?
Let's pull up the photos. But again,
And this is where we were talking about any of these places can switch in this top six. Like if you were to switch these guys around, I don't think anyone would complain at all.
no, that's not what I want to pull up.
Well, the fans of that person will.
Well, yeah,
Let
but
me tell
that's
you.
biases. I mean, it's going to happen no
Yeah.
matter what. You
Oh
have people
yeah.
that are screaming Ali should have won, and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's take a look at it.
You got to remember these aren't up the scale, bro. That's why, and it's hard to go off of it without the
Yeah,
video. It's you could see they made Banks's pulled out because his head looks the smallest in this, and then they got guys that are zoomed in.
yeah, you're not wrong. But just looking at it, listen, bro, you got a point. Like you can see a world where he's jumping into, the top three, top four conversation. I mean, I
And
think,
then click to the backs really quick.
yeah,
I just wanted to show that he hangs. Look at that. Directors, everything's full. I mean, the lats can maybe come up a little bit more detail, but that's nitpicking.
yeah. Wow,
That's it.
this is kind of wild looking at it from here.
We saw it in China with Brandon.
This
Yeah,
actually, Brandon's back. This does really good justice for Brandon's back. That actually looks really good.
This is the best I've seen Brandon.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't care what anybody says. This is the best I've ever seen Brandon.
I had in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I had Brandon in second.
yeah.
No reason Brandon shouldn't have been in second. And that's no disrespect to Ali.
No
The
disrespect.
placings are what they are. I just feel like when you look at these photos, Ali, from fullness standpoint, he best core in this whole lineup, whole show. I would arguably say the IFBB, but other things lack. You look at balance. Brandon is the most comparable to Ryan Terry in this pose.
Yes.
And if it's not about backs and you're just going off of a front, okay. I wouldn't even give Ali the front pose. I honestly wouldn't over Brandon.
Would you give him the back pose?
Nope.
No.
Brandon.
So okay, so I think that's where this. Cause keep in mind, this was a 1 point difference, right? So like you're trying to find a.
Yeah, go over that real quick. Go over the points.
Yeah. So before anything else, Ryan Terry won on a clean score, right? So every judge had Ryan Terry in first place, whereas the difference between first and second, or sorry, second and third place was only 1 point. So that means the judges was really back and forth between split on who they thought was gonna, come out on top. And I guess the majority ruled Ali Bilal coming out, but you can see why. It was a really close battle. I really do think Ali came in a little flatter compared to the Arnold, but everything
I'm
else.
pumping up, bro. I'm telling you right now. Him and Jeremy were the guys that I've seen, and myself, of course, thinking I gotta, I'm gonna lose it if I don't. We're pumping up like so early because we were told a specific thing. And that's why I think that cutting the lineup is the best thing that they could do. But besides that, with how he is, and mind you, this is probably taken from the comparisons or individuals or whatever. Some of these guys got better and some of these guys didn't get so good. So obviously finals is also a different look too, because they could evaluate everything and eat more food and fill out. I just don't think that this is as accurate either. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody did something different, bro. Like, and these pictures are just still shots. And then when you see these guys pose and move around, we saw what happened with sixth place. He moved in like a whole call out.
Yeah. All right. I think we jumped people here. So let's give some flowers real quick to Edvin placing fifth again with a
maxed out.
more
maxed out as well.
More stacked lineup. Bro, he was peeled. He was
best physique Edvon has ever showed on stage.
It was wild, dude. It was insane. I'm really excited for him, man. Balance from top to bottom, back to front, back and add some more density, but you can see the improvements. Just need to etch it out a little bit more. And again,
I got to see him training at Champs the last 3-4 weeks of his prep, and he was improving every single week, and he was getting tighter and tighter, more impressive. Because whenever he showed up there, I was like, I have him out of my top 7, 8. Like, I don't think he's going to be there. And then by the time he was leaving for the Olympia, I was like, oh, this is going to be a problem.
I remember those updates.
Yeah.
All right. And then we got coming in fourth place, Aaron Banks. All right. So, Drew, what did you see potentially backstage?
So, Aaron's known for his back. And for years and years and years, when he came out on the scene, everybody was like, holy shit, the craziest back I think ever in men's physique, as far as mass and thickness and with his height and the shoulders and everything. Like, it's clear as day that he has the best back on stage. Over time, when you see the same thing over and over again, people tend to get burnt out of it. And it's like, we all know he has a back. Like, it's about the front. You know, George Brown is like putting shit out there about his core not being in and this and that or whatever. And, you know, it's all for, you know, the entertainment. But over the years, Banks has added so much size that the proportions have changed a lot from his best. And arguably his best was Boston or 22 Olympia, the year that he got second to Brandon. He still looks world class, right? But the more we see him and compared to other looks, the more flaws you could kind of pick out. And I think his core wasn't as tight as when he was lighter in weight. You know, now it's not necessarily a size game with him, but his back has improved even off of, you know, being the strength that it is. And
Back is better,
with,
bro.
yeah, his back, this was the best I've
seen.
ever seen his back.
Yes.
But also at the same time, I didn't think his front shot was as good as I've seen it before.
I agree.
That's it. And honestly, he might actually agree. I don't know. Like, this is just me being honest. Yeah, I mean,
Hey, Chris.
I was going to say you have to give and take sometimes. So his back is probably the best we've ever seen it, the most full, most detailed we've ever seen. And sometimes whenever you play that card,
trade off.
It's going to be a trade off on the core, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you asked him right now, was this your best look? I would say he would say no. Like, and that's me. And I know every show it's like bringing something different and this is the best ever. And, you know, I say the same thing with every single show I do. Alex is the same thing until you actually reevaluate and see who you're next to. But just looking with your eyes, it's just, you know, I'm hypercritical of my own self. You're hypercritical of everything that you see as well, Alex. And this just isn't about being subjective and having an opinion. There's just certain things in comparison, regardless of the lighting, that aren't the same as the best look ever. Like, you're always going to be compared to your best look ever, just like you are, Alex, right?
Yep. You're right. Again, dude, I still think he has the highest ceiling. I just, like you said, his success is in his hands. And if he can nail it, again, man, I still think there's a world Aaron Banks comes back and win the fucking Olympia. Shit.
The only thing that I see is in those top three, they have as their strength what he would have as a weakness.
Yes.
And usually at that top 5 spot, it comes down to, dude, it could literally be a haircut, bro. Like, I feel like it's so close. And the top 3 are very comparable with height, I would say. Banks is known for his fullness, but he's also the tallest guy by a landslide in this lineup too. He's the biggest guy by far.
I don't think he was like bursting full. Like, I think that it was like a combination.
No, but the back was. You see what I mean about the trade-off? Like Chris said, like, his back has there's no gap, bro. Like, you just see him standing there backstage. It's like, what am I looking at? You know, like, people seeing it at a beach would be like, what the fuck? He's Mr. Olympia at the beach. You see him, it's like, how can this guy lose? And then proportions and symmetry when you're next to somebody in the lineup, it really shows you. Like, Ryan's winning on aesthetics, bro. Like, he's winning on, it's a physique that if you aspire to have it, you're not going to have it. It's just the symmetry that he has and the muscle maturity that he has. It's just all there, bro. And he's winning with a perfect score. And we haven't seen somebody this dominant in men's physique since Jeremy Buendia.
Yeah, yes. Bro. I know I don't want to skip over. We talked about Brandon. I don't want to skip over Ali, but this was the most conditioned human being I've ever seen in my life. Like I saw Jose.
I gotta agree with you on that one, because seeing him backstage, bro, it was like everybody was looking at him and got out of his way. And he has an aura to him, right? Everybody knew it was a battle for second. I never seen him so locked into my entire life. It was tunnel vision. Dude, he was serious. And he's always been like a sweet, nice Brit guy, right? He was so locked in backstage. I just knew, don't even say anything, bro. Like, he doesn't.
Choice they had for him too was so perfect.
What's up?
Yeah. All I Do Is Win was his song whenever he came out.
No, he turned it on, didn't he?
You're up like this. I was like,
that's what you
game over.
That's what you get for being the champ. Because there's nobody else who got.
He was already holding up the one.
When he walked out, that specific song came on, and you could tell, like, it was dope, man. He owned that stage. You could tell he was a veteran. You can tell he was a champion. He controlled it phenomenally, man. Dude, like, look at this. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious, bro? This is detail. This is conditioning. Like, it's wild.
Dude, I think honestly what happened is he threw those shorts on backstage and it made him 10 times leaner and just like wrapped it up, man.
Bro, when I saw him walk out and manifest, bro, I'm gonna shit myself.
Well,
Like,
dude, people in the crowd
Yeah,
next
dude,
to me were
it's
like
kind of crazy because he posted the
the
what was the
Gymshark
other one?
ones.
Yeah,
Gymshark.
Gymshark ones. Like he worked on them. I'm like,
Yep.
wait a second.
He
yeah,
won them for
Dude, I
finals.
was actually confused. I'm like, am I actually reading the back of it? He was doing pull-ups. I'm like, manifest. I'm like, yo, that's huge. I'm like, Alex sign him. Like, I was so confused because he just posted. I'm like, did he miss him in the mail? And like, he had to reach out to you for a pair. I honestly didn't know, bro. And I
no,
Chad
wasn't
Owens was
asking him.
next to
I
me, and
wasn't asking him.
yeah.
he's like, is that manifest? He's like, and dude, Chad Owens was going crazy. He's like, what the hell is this?
No, bro, I'm telling you, it was cool. I sent these to him months ago, bro, just to try, shoot your shot with the greatest in the world. And he sent me back a long voice message, like talking about how much he loved them, the material, how confident he felt in them. I sent him like four different sizes, bro. I don't know his size. I didn't. So like it was cool to get that feedback from him in itself, just a pipe dream shooting a shot. And he said, "Hey, bro, I would love to wear these. Unfortunately, I'm doing that, design with Gymshark." But I was like, bro, no problem. Give them away to some people around your gym. I appreciate you, for the feedback in itself. And keep in mind, he owns a board short company, right? Like he has those blue board shorts that he wore his entire career. So the fact that, he chose Manifest out of his own board short company, and then, of course, over the design he had with Gymshark, which he ended up wearing at finals, bro, I'm telling you, it speaks product or volumes of the product in itself. So I was fucking a kid in the candy store, bro. I was losing my fucking shit. I was losing it. But again, his physique in it,
You had no idea, huh?
bro, no idea. So imagine
Was
that.
the order placed in his name?
No. I sent him
He
to
sent
him.
it to him.
Okay, okay.
So like I wanted him just
I'll
to,
tell you why I'm on my phone in a few minutes,
all
guys.
right. But again, I was just, oh, I know why you're on your phone. I know why you're on your phone.
I'm booking a flight.
Oh
Oh
no.
Lord,
Wait. Let me check. Let me
what
check.
time is it?
Bro, it's still not here. I've been checking. I've been checking. But like I said, I think this was prejudging was the best version I've ever seen of Ryan Terry. I think his fullness was on point. I still think he could even be a little fuller, which is kind of crazy to
Yes,
say
yes.
outside or say out loud. But I do think this was the best version of him I've ever seen at prejudging. Now, I did want
Wild, bro.
I wanted to ask you guys something because though this was the best version of him that we've ever seen at prejudging, I also think the finals version of Ryan was a completely different story. And I'm not sure if you guys saw it in your own eyes, but I wanted to get your guys' perspective on what you've seen, if I can ever find a way to pull this shit up. Here we
To be
go.
honest, I wasn't
The
even paying
stream
attention
didn't
to that finals
even.
because I knew it was wrapped up.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, listen, can you guys see this or no?
Oh Lord.
It's a lighting thing.
Yeah.
Do you think so,
And
though?
that looks like it's like sharpened or something weird. I don't
Well,
understand.
this was taken by the same exact photographer. Definitely, obviously, two different venues, two different lightings.
But he looks airbrushed. Like it looks like there's
Yeah,
editing. Like his teeth
yeah.
even look whiter than that. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's an edit.
Yeah, I just think I noticed it when I was watching the fucking live stream. I was like, oh, he looks a little off at finals, but I think prejudging was such a wide gap that there was no world where anybody else was going to come back.
He's
But
not off. He's not off, bro. Like so, I look at the legs. I look at the vascularity in the same spots. You could tell that there's certain everything is there. It's just a lighting issue.
And it's also he could be mid in a pose getting into it, and it can make your physique look totally
I
different.
don't
This
even
is
think
just
it's
a
that, bro.
snapshot in a second.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's the lighting because your chest just doesn't not split like that. Like it just
Yeah, that's you're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
was that's just you see what I'm saying. There's like little things
I
like
mean, we see it in Derek's pictures too, all these ones that are being posted. He didn't look like that, trust me.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, he
pull
wasn't.
up like a different finals photo. I do not like that photo as a reference,
We have
bro.
a finals
That's
video.
absolutely. It looks like it's made on ChatGPT with an edit. It don't even look
Bro,
like
he
him.
looks like he's 20 pounds bigger.
Let me see. All right, let me pull up his.
I swear to God, bro, it could be something like some troll being like, "Look at this!" Like he got a perfect score. That means prejudging in finals, bro. It was like hands down, everybody had him in first. If that's how he looked at finals, truly, it wouldn't. You know what I'm
No,
saying? That
I
it
would want to
wouldn't.
know what he did.
hold on. But that's what I want to know. I can
Yeah.
guarantee, bro. I know Ryan is very hard on himself. I can guarantee you say his prejudging was better than his finals. I'm trying to. I know he doesn't have
I
anything on
guess we got to
finals.
get him on here to find out then.
No, all right. I don't see any finals posts, bro, and there might be for a reason. But I listen. We do know it was a slam door, conversation going into it. It was a fight for second place, But like I said, bro, this was the best version of Ryan. Now the question is, Chris, we know your answer. Does this make him the greatest men's physique athlete of all time?
Tied with Brandon.
Absolutely.
Tied with Brandon.
Oh, tied now.
He is the greatest, bro.
All right. So, Ryan, if you're watching this,
still apply the list. No. Listen, still apply the list. Brandon has still competed more, bro.
Yeah,
and it can't just be Olympias, right? They have the same amount of Olympias. Ryan, like now, because he's beaten Brandon for like this look now, he's superior to Brandon, right? In that aspect. But when you look at the history and everything that they have accumulated throughout, like the resume aspect, when that Behind the TV added everything up with the points, it makes sense going off of that same scale, what they have gotten, placements throughout the years. Ryan has competed a lot, and mainly it's been in the Olympia. Brandon has competed at a lot of shows outside the Olympia, and he's never been out of a top 5 ever, bro.
But let me give Brandon
you this. Hold on. Brandon is also
Ryan has won the past 3 years whenever men's physique is the hardest championship to win as it's ever been, and he beat everybody that has ever won the Olympia before him, except for obviously the first one.
True, but breaking down the resume itself, right? No matter if it was the hardest Olympia or not, in 2018, 2017, 2019, whenever Brandon went, that was the hardest like era at that time, right? Like he won out of the best then. Like it doesn't take away or discredit it, even though in 10 years from now, it's going to be the more competitive, like there might be somebody else, right? If you go off of the resume and just keep the logic consistent throughout, like Andre says, and you just look at it that way, take the subjectivity out of it, and you actually tally up the points and on a Richter scale, Brandon still has the most. I'm having Ryan tie with Brandon based off of Olympias and what you said about it being the hard, just that most dominant champion. Brandon has won it, then lost it, and then won it back, you know? So it's not just about consistency. They could still have the same amount of titles, and how they get them shouldn't matter.
But they still got them, right? Jeremy Buendia in the point system?
Say it again.
He wasn't even on the thing. Like they took him out completely because it was just based on Olympias. But Jeremy Buendia hasn't done many shows outside of the Olympia, and that's why his was lower, even though he has the most. So that's another argument for that, you know?
Yeah, but Brandon, how many Arnolds has he won? Is it 1, 2?
2, I thought.
Is it?
I thought.
I don't know. From my understanding, I think Ryan won 2.
He won the UK and then he won Ohio.
Only one that matters.
Brandon, I believe, won once. Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, seriously. That's all that matters.
No, it's like the argument of like Masters wins and stuff. They shouldn't count as pro wins, even though you're going to have the people that, you know, they still are technically a pro win if you're going to break it down, but it is a subcategory, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. That's what I'm really trying to detach myself from.
Yeah.
But
I'm talking, dude, and I'm on a personal level with all these guys, and I'm saying it just to break it down on just the logic of it, taking out the subject.
Question on this though. So has every single one of Ryan's win been the perfect score, and then every single one of Brandon's win been the perfect score?
I don't think that should even matter, bro. I think if you win a show, you win a show. Because you could just slap 2, but you could just slap 2 scores together and you still got second if you got second, whether it's by 1 point or a perfect score, right? A lot of it for the fans, it could be like, okay, yeah, Ryan did dominate, in my opinion. We all had him winning before. There was an era where Brandon was the same way, bro. Like, Brandon has beaten Ryan more times than Ryan has beaten Brandon. That's another thing. So we could go off of that. So we could come up with these different things off the top of my head. If I sat down and could write out my thoughts, I could break it down like off the top of my head and not even really thinking about it right now. I'm just going off of the system that was laid out that made the most sense to me. And if people haven't seen it, I don't encourage them to go look at it.
I still hold true to what I said.
Is there anything else about the Olympia that you guys want to talk about? I feel like there's. I know I wanted to make this the Olympia episode, but I do want to talk about something. One more thing before we get off here.
No? Yeah, bring it up. We'll talk about it. Yeah. I don't have anything on the top of my head. No, like you just want to bring up something you said. So
no, yeah, I want to bring up you. So what were you just doing on your phone? All right.
Well, since the list isn't out yet, the moment I stepped off stage, I wasn't happy. So we're going to Hurricane.
Let's fucking go, bro.
I'll be there this weekend.
I just got chills. Like I get Drew at my house for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right. So what went into the decision of making this? And do you know of anyone who's going to be competing there with you?
I saw and Ben I always knew that Ben was doing it. He announced it months ago. When the stress left me, like I said, I spent time with family. Stress left me, bro, and I woke up the next day, and it was, I mean, the look is the look that I had at the Olympia was still my best, but I knew I could be better because the peak wasn't the best. I've had good peaks without the tissue there. I've had bad peaks with the tissue there, but everything needs to come together collectively to really show all the improvements, right? Um, and when I woke up, I got that feeling when you look in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I'm on. This is it. So I'm already in shape. I killed myself to get to this point. The stress is gone. The pressure's gone. I have nothing to lose. The only thing that I could do to move up and where I'm at right now is by beating a guy at a higher tier level.
Yeah.
Ben has more to lose than me at the show. And
wrong.
honestly, it's no disrespect to anybody else. I go to shows to win. Anything could happen. And I always love Ben's personality, how he's unapologetically gives his opinion. But I will say, just like anybody else, everybody is beatable.
Where do you think that you could beat Ben or any other guy?
Conditioning. The same way that I've beaten guys with better backs than me.
Okay.
That's the way.
So I could expose Nick Coey. I beat him. Alex, I beat you. Why'd I beat you? Why'd I beat Ja? Why'd I beat these guys? Because my conditioning made them look off. I am coming to the show peeled out of my fucking mind. Like, there is no doubt, bro. I got no stress. I got all the confidence. I got nothing to lose. Like, you guys are going to see something special.
Hell yeah, bro. Yo, I'm ready to run through a fucking brick wall. I'm like, oh shit. He made me
But
feel
I
like,
didn't have that, that emotion when you talk, when you're
yes.
trying to convince somebody, like I said earlier. And then there's that, I got chills right now. Like, I am so emotional right now. Like, I was kind of getting into my feelings earlier. It's crazy to me to see how many people I inspire, bro. I'm not supposed to be here, man. From what happened to me in 2021, I'm not supposed to be here, bro. And I am, and I'm doing what I love, and I'm impacting people. And to me, that's everything. And having this weekend set me up to put myself in a position to be like, no, I'm not done, bro. I'm not done. I can't be done. I got to show the look that I worked hard. I got to show the look that people look up to me for. I have to show my best. That's how I redeem myself and the validation I need for myself. And honestly, it's just bringing, it's not even about the like winning or anything. It's about always leveling up from my previous best. It sounds stupid. Everybody says that, but when I'm on, I make people look out of shape. And it's not because they're off. They could be on 100%, but I will make them look out of shape. I have something special that, God may have not gave me the best back in the world, but I got something else that other people don't have. And in the world, there are only about, what will we say, 16, 17 guys ahead of me. And what's funny? I break down the list. I'm the number one white guy from the USA in the world.
That is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that stat.
So I was talking to Maria, and we're talking about perspective.
That's the thumbnail. I'm the number one white guy
from the USA on planet Earth in men's physique. Oh, Ryan Terry's not from here.
Yeah.
But you break it down and you put it in perspective, and you're like, holy shit. I actually am like, that's kind of how I got to look at things. Small steps, bro. Give myself credit for what I have done instead of thinking, no, I'm not good enough. I've been not good enough my entire life. And what does it get me to? It gives me to stressing, bro. I'm here for a reason. It's to fulfill a journey.
Bro,
I haven't done that yet.
We say this often, man, no matter whether you're a pro, Olympian, rookie, somebody who stepped on stage and are trying to get in a position where you are, you will lose more than you will ever win in this sport. And how you manage those lows, those losses is going to dictate how far you can go. This is
100%. Put it on a wall in a gym, have a painter come out and do that, because that's the truth, bro. You got to look at that every day. And once you realize that, that's when the stress is gone.
It's more of an emotional sport than it ever will be a physical sport. And if those of you can't control your emotion / your mental, you will never be able to control your physical. I'm telling you guys right now, that's what we're talking about. Cortisol always wins. And your mentality will either cause limitations or springboard you significantly further than you could even ever imagine. I'm telling you now. You have to believe in yourself. I talk about manifestation all the time.
Manifest it.
If you don't believe it, bro, I promise
Alex,
you.
let me say something on this. I went up to Tarek at the gym. I don't know if I told you that, guys, this, but as I was training with Caitlin, and she was obviously doing the Amateur Olympia, I walked up to Tarek. I go, this is going to be one of your overall winners at the Amateur Olympia. I go, you're looking at her right now. He walked back into the gym the next day. He introduced Caitlin to Tim Wilkins, and he goes, "Hey, you're going to be introducing her as the amateur Olympia winner in a week." And I said that every single time he walked in the gym, I said, "This is going to be your winner." And then Caitlin started saying, "I'm going to be the winner. You're looking at the winner." And guess what happened? She won the damn thing. The night before the Olympia, we were with Maureen. I looked at her and we did a toast. We were all doing the little vodka shots the night before. Ben was there, she was there, Caitlin was there, and everything. We're taking the shots, and Ben goes, "Hey, this is to regain your title back." And Maureen was a little bit iffy about it. She goes, "Oh, let's hope." And I go, "No, you're going to get your title back." I go, "Say it with me. You're going to get your title back." Manifesting that stuff matters. And what did she do the next day? She won that title back.
Her motherfucking title back.
That's what it's all about. Okay.
Hell yeah.
There's truth to that, man. Where the mind goes, the body follows. And I'm not saying every single person is going to be an Olympian or whatever, but you don't know unless you try, bro. You don't. You really don't know unless you try. This saved my life, and it wasn't just to be an Olympian. I never even wanted to be. I never expected to. I just found something that I was passionate about that gave me balance and structure that I needed to maintain myself from going into insanity, because I, had a crazy mindset back in the day. I felt invincible, bro. This kept me level-headed because I always had something to work for. There was always somebody better, and there will always be somebody better. And you got something to work for. And knowing that I'm never going to fulfill that, and I'm always in my head, that almost overcame me to thinking I'm not good enough. And you'll notice a lot of the guys in the Olympia will think that they're not good enough. And that's why they are good enough.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of us we have these.
Ryan Perry's a prime example of that. Like,
we all look in the mirror. I don't care what anybody says, and we all see our flaws before anything else. That's how it is. There could be a day that you're full as hell to somebody like your coach and be like, "Oh, I'm flat," because you feel flat. Just because you feel flat doesn't mean you are flat. Yep. And that's why you need a coach to get you out of your own head. You ever been like getting ready for a show or something, and you get like a picture taken of you or whatnot, and you feel small until you look at the picture, like, holy shit, like I look.
Or like 2 months after the show, and you're like, I thought I looked like crap, and you're like,
and you go back to it, and then you're posting throwbacks, and then George Brown is going to be like, "Well, you don't look like that now." Like, stay peeled year round. I'm going to tell him. I should have told him to take his shirt off of the O and pose with me.
He looked pretty good, though. I ain't gonna lie.
He did, bro. He did. When he was calling Banks out and had his shirt off, I'm like, this guy is such a troll, bro. But I love it.
He is, bro. His content right now is so fucking funny, bro. He's just all over the place.
He has too much time on his hands. Every time I see him, he has like a new little ball on his necklace. I'm like, new little crystal, bro. Next thing you know, he's gonna be like doing some rave shit and have all the tapestries in his room and starting some club of having a circle jerk.
Oh my god.
I love George.
At one point, he was gonna do Hurricane. That would be crazy if he jumped in it. But
he's gonna do Masters. He would be better off doing Masters.
Now we're just speculating. All right, Drew, it was good having you back on, man. Like,
awesome, appreciate it, man.
We missed you, man.
Missed you.
Yeah, you could tell I took a break because I was so stressed. You know what I mean? And it was hard for me because I love this, but I couldn't even. I was so into my head, man. Like being able to talk and articulate like a show or break down how I felt. Like I wasn't even in that mindset to do that. I couldn't even keep a thought in my head to explain how I felt, let alone how I would break down somebody else's physique. It was hard for me to be excited for somebody else. And I don't want to put up a fake front. So that's why I'm not even going to do that, because I'm a genuine person, bro. I got to just be myself. And that's what flows easy. When I got to overthink stuff, it's like, it's not me, bro. And people watching will know really fast. They'll know when I'm off.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. I remember the year we all were in prep for the Olympia and how dead we felt. You know what I mean? And it wasn't hard. It wasn't doing a podcast then. I could only imagine now with you pushing the hardest you've ever pushed. I know I was going through it back then, so again, I'm excited to have you back. We got only a few more episodes left until season 2 wraps up. So it's perfect timing. We'll make sure we go out in style. And yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for hopping back on.
I'm excited. I love doing this stuff. I love it. And I know a lot of people message me when I stop. It's like, oh, I need the breakdown and all of that. And I'm like, and it was a perfect opportunity for me to be like, what do you guys want to hear more of? And when I go to these events, I always ask people, like when they say, oh, watch NPR, I go, what do you like? What do you want to hear more of? Like,
we need to start covering amateurs a little bit more, just like showing.
That's the number one request that I had. The guys that, because you could put them on the map. And if you see something in somebody, usually when you we know a look, man, when it could fill out whatnot. I go off of the mindset. Usually when you talk to somebody that's fired up and they have a good base, like, this guy's going to go somewhere because I could see my younger self in them.
Yo, listen, if you guys are watching this, you made it this far, comment below. If it's you, if you know a specific amateur you want us to cover, we'll pick maybe an episode, definitely one in the next episode, give them some love, give them some tips, and critique their physique, we'll call it. Maybe
Shoot
we'll
them a DM, tag us in Instagram too. Like,
Yep.
it's not just YouTube. Like, tag us in Instagram. I want to see how these guys look. I want to be able to put you guys out there. This is why I have this platform. It's social media for a reason. I want to put you guys on and be able to give the critiques when I have the time to do it.
yeah. And you can also download ProSeek, and then also
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
give you guys more in-depth breakdowns of your physique, and then posing routines as well. So you have options, guys.
One more thing before I go. I want to give a shout out to VMI. It's been my new supplement company, and I'm not somebody that promotes a lot of stuff. And this isn't even about promotion. You can use my code or not, just shreds. But the pre-workout has got me through a lot of the rough days, even though I cut it out 2 weeks before. KXR is a great pre-workout. The Protolite protein is absolutely amazing. It's something that I look forward to every day. And it was almost like a tease because it was so good. And I couldn't wait to get more. I'm white and boring, so I like the marshmallow charms, but they got all these extra flavors. That they got, like a mint chocolate chip. They got a bunch of different
You try
stuff.
the grape pre-workout yet? The grape
Yes,
flavor?
the sport. Yep. Yep.
So good.
It's great. It's great, man. And the way that it hits, it's not like a crazy come down or anything. You don't get cold sweats, and
Mhm.
it's just good. So if you guys want to check it out, up your workout games, definitely something to look into, because it's helped me get through a lot of the stuff, even though you get to a point where you're still going to be stressed out. And there's not much that you can do besides go through it. But for the time being, there were workouts that were actually my best about 2 weeks out. So give it a shout out, give it a try.
All right, fellas. Till next episode.
All right, guys.
So